Hi, I'm Amberly. Welcome back to Real Florida Magazine. Today is your opportunity to find out more about our local area, so stay tuned for more from Real Florida Magazine.
Welcome back. As mentioned, our guest today is none other than jolly old Saint Nick, Santa Claus. Santa, thank you so much for taking time out from your busy schedule. We enjoyed you speaking to our Kiwanis Club today. And as we so often try to do, we kind of double dipped. We said, listen, let's talk about what you've got upcoming. You and Darlene, your wife, obviously we're talking to Rex Ray right now. People in the area certainly know Rex and Darlene Ray. You have been the perennial Santa Claus for many years in this area, the go-to guy. You are the real deal. Somebody mentioned today that it only took you 30 or 40 years to be an overnight success. You mentioned it took you your whole life to find something about what you feel passionate about, what you're really good at, and what you love to do. First of all, thanks for all that you do year-round. If somebody is in one of the local big box stores or just getting gas sometimes, they'll see you guys pull up. You are Santa and Mrs. Claus year-round. Let's start at the very beginning. How did you get involved in doing what you do, and talk a little bit about that?
Well, the first time that I ever got asked to do Santa Claus was at my local church here in Chipley. Every year they do a nativity scene at the very front of the church. And the one thing that's not in the nativity scene is the Christ child until Christmas Eve service. And at the end of the Christmas Eve evening service, Santa Claus will bring the Christ child in and put him in the nativity scene. And several years ago, about 10 now actually, one of the ladies of the church asked me if I'd be willing to do Santa Claus for that. And I just looked at her and said, why me? I don't look anything like Santa Claus. But she twisted my arm and convinced me, and that year I wore one of those $29.95 Walmart Santa Claus suits. Still didn't need the fake beard because I've had the beard for 30-some years. And we performed the service. At the end of that evening service, I walked in, all decked out as Santa, bringing the Christ child, went up, laid him in the manger, knelt down to say a prayer, and I said a prayer for world peace, and that I'd be able to stand back up without falling flat on my face. But when I did, I turned around, and the tears that were in the eyes of the adults, the pure joy in the eyes of the children, I was hooked. In the Santa Claus world, those of us in the red suit have a saying that you don't choose the red suit chooses you. And that night it chose me.
I've heard that story before, but every time it definitely gets you. And how many of us have prayed, some of us all our lives, for that calling, that ability to know what it is we're supposed to do, what we're here for. If you can enjoy it at the same time, obviously double blessed. And I know that you and Darlene certainly are, because we have had the opportunity to work with you. For those people around the Chipley area, certainly they've seen you in the free photos with Santa at the Christmas, on the day of the Christmas parade in Chipley. We had the fortune of working with you for several years. Interesting side note there is that when we were no longer able to carve out that time because of some other obligations, and you were no longer able to carve out that time, the people that have come behind us are obviously wanting to charge for their services, which is a shame. And I'm not patting us on the back for doing it for free, but you know, I know that you do what you do to give back to the community. We certainly try to do the same when it's possible. And that was just one of those things that I really miss, because the kids loved it and some parents certainly loved it.
We tried very hard to continue to be able to do that on our part. Because we did. We thoroughly enjoy giving back to the community. This community, Darlene and I are not from Florida. We're not from the Chipley area or even Washington County. But we chose to retire here. And we love this area very much. The beauty of it, the people of it. And so doing things like that just came natural to us. We've tried to give back our whole life, but one of my good friends in this business of Santa Claus told me one time, he says, you have to wonder if God really meant old men to have this much fun.
And that underscores, I guess, my whole point. You guys have fun.
Oh, we love doing this. It's such a joy. It gives me such joy and happiness. I've done, much like you, Paul, many different things in my life. Wore a lot of different hats, been in a lot of different trades. But this, I really think this is why I was put here on earth, was to do this.
Well, the community is blessed, and if you have the opportunity, especially during the holiday season, to be around Rex and Darlene at one of these events, whether it's photos, but even just running into you in Winn-Dixie, or in Walmart or some of the grocery stores, I've seen people, I've been coming around a corner and I see you guys shopping and I see a little child. And I know by now what's going to happen. Either they're going to be a little frightened and Darlene is going to kind of assuage their feelings and you're going to work your way in until at the end of that 5 or 10 minute period, the kid's going to be all over you. Or they're just going to come run up and grab your leg and give you a big old hug. What better love than that of a child?
Oh, there is none. There is none. You know, like I say, the joy in their eyes, the love in their heart, the pure belief. And as I told the Kiwanis Club today, Santa's not one person, but you know, Santa tries to teach kids to believe in something they can't touch or hold, and that's that pure spirit of love and joy and giving, and it brings me such joy to do that, and to see that return from those children is the most rewarding thing that there is.
Many times, in anyone's professional life, they have to make a presentation to another party, or they just talking to them about something. And the worst situation is when you get that blank look and you just don't, you're just not getting through. Your avocation, your opportunity to work with these kids, there is no such thing. And with kids, there's no filter. You get what's real, and you get that raw emotion. Again, it's just got to be wonderful.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's very challenging, actually. Being Santa, it's a challenge in that you never know what a child's going to ask. And if you want that child to continue to believe, you'd better have an answer. And you better have an answer that they're willing to buy into for anything they ask at a moment's notice. And so it keeps me on my toes, lively, keeps my mind working well. And like I said, it just brings me so much joy. And some of the things we get to do, like this event that's coming up, to give back and to help out, it's what we do. We just love doing it. If I could afford to be Santa for free for everything we do, I would. And just unfortunately, I have to charge some events that can afford it to help cover the cost so that we can continue to do our charitable work with this.